All right, one of the things, first of all, welcome to Hood Politics with Prop. You know what it is. Your boy been on a personal note. Uh yeah, I had a water leak that turned into a gas leak. May turned into a gas leak mainly because I cut the gas line thinking it was the water line. It was under concrete, but now I know what pipe dope is. Now I know the difference between galvanized and black steel. I have crawled up under my house multiple times. I know how to solder now. I know what a union is. Just blue collar prop. I thought I was done. Then I realized the lady that lives in my back house, yeah, her sink was clogged. So now I know how to cut PVC pipe and redo sinks. Not bad for a rapper from South Central. Now, well, born in South Central. Don't listen. I am from the 626, you know what I'm saying? A more echelon. Anyway, I am completely off topic. What I like about this show is if I were to evaluate the show, evaluate myself, if I do say so myself, is that I feel like it was my strength as a high school teacher, as a musician, a poet, and even just like navigating the waters of sort of gang stuff as a child and then gang stuff when I was attempting to do intervention when I was a teacher working in the city, is the ability to at least understand and articulate positions, whether I hold to them or not. Like, I understand what you're saying and can argue it for you. I might have to give a shout out to Mr. Jeffries, my 11th grade English teacher, who probably one of like very out of the box teacher. We had to, I remember at the end of 11th grade California, you got to read of Mice and Men, and we had to put Lenny on trial for killing George, or put George on trial for killing Lenny. Yeah, put Lenny on trial for killing George. Yeah, he won't let me tend them rabbits. So yeah, we had to put him on trial, and I remember I was on his defense. George on trial for killing Lenny. That's what it was, and that it was like a mercy killing. And yeah, anyway, I remember him being like, whether you think it's right or not is besides the point. And that was, I think in a lot of ways, a catalyst to how I was able to, kind of move on and be able to, empathize better. Anyway, so my point is, I don't have to agree with it. I can understand it. And I tried to bring that to what Hood Politics with Prop is. It's reading the lick. I'm telling you this what they saying. There's my education hat in the sense of like, what the hell is a filibuster? Like, we've done that before, you know what I'm saying? But then there's the like, all right, especially in a time that's so polarized to where you're just like, wait, how does anyone think this? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just saying this how they think this, I can see the play. Whether I agree with the play or not, I can see it. Or at least I can see a play. Maybe that's not the play they doing, but I could see the play. But this time, especially given the results of this last sets of elections and the moves Big Donnie are making, the way for which he's carrying himself post-election, the hills he's willing to die on, the stances he's taken, I'm not gonna hold you. I don't see the play on this one. Hood politics, y'all! All right, so this is what I mean by I don't see the play. Let's set up the clipboard here, you know what I'm saying? A little basketball reference. Let's do the X's and O's. All right, so walking into the November 6th elections, right? You had us in Cali voting on whether we was going to gerrymander or not. You had Virginia, Jersey, and of course the big one with the 9/11 part 2 head ass. These fools are ridiculous with Zora Mamdani. and just absolute W's, right? Like these are things that I'm going to talk about on the tap in, where it's like, yeah, that's big. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do have some critiques on how the pundits continue to always fall into the same trap. This is a referendum on Trump. They always say that. But I'm going to talk about that on the tap in. But the reality is, whether it was very progressive, Democratic Socialists with Mondani, or it was very centrist, kind of milquetoast Republicans up in Jersey. Homegirl, what's homegirl name? Oh, Spamberger. How you gonna forget that name? That girl named Spamberger. Listen, that's just funny. Anyway, that's their first woman governor, but she, you know what I'm saying? She she more of a centrist. She more in the like Obama cut. Anyway, so whether it was like moderate Democrat or extreme Democrat, it's just W's. The folks that which continues to happen, the people that Trump endorses, especially in the midterms, they keep taking these L's. Now, this is normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, usually the opposition party in the midterm cleans up. So, you know what I'm saying? Don't pop the champagne just yet. You feel me? But his response is happening while the Supreme Court has finally taken on some of the most serious situations and making rulings around things that also federal courts are making rulings around, things that Trump was all in on. He was betting the house on a couple of the things that the Supreme Court was counting on. But this was wild and around the same time. Now, obviously, the timing is not his fault, but this all happening at the same time. And to be honest, the way that he's maneuvering in this, I don't see the play. Now, let me tell you the plays that I did understand as to help explain what I mean by I'm not sure I see this play. And listen, hit me up. Maybe I'm tripping. So let's back up the clock to the USAID thing. Let's back up the clock to the beginning of the year when we did the BBL, Donnie, when we was talking about like what his big beautiful bill act and the plan, the play that he was finna run that we knew he was running. One of which I want to talk about it here, which is like, okay, I see the play here, was the USAID. Okay, obviously, as someone who sits on the board for a humanitarian org that uses a lot of USAID, of which we have a board meeting next week where we're going to discuss how literally mouths are going unfed because of the cutting of this money. Now, I could see the play there. I know we did a whole episode on soft power, which means that I disagree with the play. I think the play is evil, but I see it. And I understand it, right? So the idea was Congress runs the money. Congress gets to choose where the money go. That is the quintessential power of Congress is the purse. Now, as many ways as that can get corrupted, at the end of the day, if they give up the power to control the money, they're useless. That's like it, which remember this point because I'm going to talk about it later because of all people, Brent Kavanaugh bring it up, right? So if y'all don't control the money, if you don't then what is you doing there, right? The money was already allocated. You supposed to do this. Let me take you back to Trump 1.0. The money for Ukraine. That was the situation. That was the whole thing with Ukraine. He was like, I ain't paying them shit. unless they do this for me. And Congress was like, my nigga, you don't get to decide that. We decide the budget. You go do the stuff I tell you to do. And to quote Andrew Jackson, arguably one of the worst humans on earth, let the courts send their army. You understand what that means? See, the courts, they don't have an army, right? So the Congress say you supposed to spend money like this. The president say, I ain't doing it. The court say, sir, you got to do it. He say, okay, come make me. Hey, he right, because you can't make it. What, are you going to fine him? Like, what? So anyway, we done already set aside the money for aid across the world. Trump say, if you make me do it, I ain't going to do it. Matter of fact, I'm cutting it. Matter of fact, I'm shutting down the thing. Now, listen, whether you set aside the money or not, if you close the office, ain't nothing to do about the money. Now, if y'all remember this, the money was already cut. The food, the pallets, the medicines, they was already allocated. They sitting in warehouses on pallets. He was like, let it rot. I ain't sending that shit. I mean, it is evil. But listen, but I see the play. The play was not only for America to know, when I said America first, I meant it. We're going to do this somewhere else. I'm not playing games with y'all. The play was, I told y'all the rest of the world going to do their fair share. I'm not finna be the breadbasket for the rest of the world. You nigga, y'all send y'all pallets. That's what I said I was going to do. So it was not only to tell a lot of things, to tell Congress, I need you to know what time it is. Y'all can't make me do nothing. I need the courts to understand I put y'all in position. Y'all can't make me do nothing. I'm going to do what I think is right. Or I'm going to do what I think I want to do. Whether it's right or not, I don't know if that's the point. He just going to do it. I see the play there. And the play was also to the rest of the UN and the developed countries to be like, nah, fam, new sheriff, homeboy. I ain't scared of y'all. And I ain't scared of them, meaning his own country. I ain't scared of my Congress. I ain't scared of these courts. And I for sure ain't scared of y'all. This what we doing. I see the play. Now, people starved because of it, because as far as I'm concerned, the man is heartless. But I see the play. He could even decide later, right? I could see the play. I could see him saying, I might decide later that it's advantageous for me. You know, Mr. I need my Peace Prize. I need my Nobel Peace Prize. I still don't understand how you could refuse to give aid to starving children and still think you deserve a Peace Prize. The ceasefire in Gaza has not ceased. Over 200 people have died since. This is not I digress. The point is, I saw the play. His tariffs thing, again, ridiculous just by anybody who's ever bought something. But I see the play. He can say, listen, I have earned so many $1 trillion for the country via tariffs. Now, according to the data, who's been paying that money that's going in is a good 20% of that has been consumers. Now, so he could argue, it's not y'all paying for this. I strong arm these companies. I strong arm these corporations. I strong arm these other foreign entities. And now this is what we getting. I'm making us bread. The problem is, how you making us bread and won't pay for SNAP? Where that bread going? And the second problem is, the reason why the stuff haven't got to the consumers yet, I know this for a fact. Let me tell you why I know this for a fact. Because I'm brand ambassadors for multiple companies. whether it was Mir, you know what I'm saying? For y'all listening, I'm holding up my Terraform the City cup. You feel me? It's blurry when I put, okay, there it is. Now it's not blurry. If you've ordered any prop merch, my hoodies, the cups, it's Mir. You know why the prices haven't gone up? It's because they knew this was coming and stocked up. So they didn't already had the stuff. But the holidays are coming. You probably out of inventory by now. Which means you're gonna have to ship some product in. Which means the price finna go up. So, but again, I can see the play. Because for 6 months, you could say, this is what we've been doing. Why you mad at us? The ICE raids. It's evil. I see the play. Because you do it in cities that you think your voters aren't in. Ain't nobody, y'all gonna fly to, that's why we doing this, that's why we doing the hellscapes thing. I'm like, you're not gonna fly to Portland. You're not gonna fly to New York. Y'all not gonna go over there, you scared of New York. You feel me? You scared of LA. Y'all not gonna come over here. So I could paint this narrative to you as to why I'm doing it. I also think, I don't know what the trade-off is between him and Stephen Miller. I don't know what Stephen Miller getting this man because it don't make no damn sense. But I see it. If this go wrong, I see the play. If it go wrong, you could just blame him. Just like Steve Bannon and Elon Musk. You just blame them if it go wrong. I let y'all do it. It go bad. It's not my fault. And he is standing on multiple years of data about that. You know how I know? Is again, by his answer from these last elections. I'm gonna talk about this, what I don't get, next. All right, we're back. What this man truthed. How many people on Truth Social? I mean, I guess I could Google this. But I mean, how many people there that are people? That is not just, I feel like he talking to 5 people and 70,000 bots. But what do I know? Anyway, he was like, the Republicans lost for 2 reasons. I ain't on the ballot. And the people is blaming you for the shutdown. I don't see the play, Donnie. Why would you say that? You saying this in the midst of the fact that the Supreme Court is questioning IEEPA. You know what IEEPA is? I know it's a funny word. That's what it is. It's yet another acronym. What the courts are deciding is Trump took over the reins of the tariffs. Remember, I told you to remember about Congress and money. Because he was claiming we were in a state of emergency. And the courts are saying, even if we were in a state of emergency, what the hell that got to do with tariffs? Isn't that Congress's job? He was like, well, it's kind of a tax, you know, and Congress controls the taxes, but we're in an emergency. I feel like under IEEPA, I'm allowed to take over the taxes. Now, let me get into the weeds for you. IEEPA stands for International Emergency Economic Powers Act. And it was in 1977 when it signed into law. And it gives the president the right to regulate international economic transactions during a national emergency, right? So this is the law he used to be able to start tariffing the hell out of everybody. But there's two questions that seem to be so obvious. First of all, what emergency? What was the emergency? What was the emergency? And then do you get to declare an emergency in the same way Michael Scott gets to declare bankruptcy? Because it seemed like that's what you just did. But you have to remember the cornerstone, I mean, y'all like this. Listen, this is Trump's doggone his version of like they not like us, not in a content, but in the sense that like you betting the house on this one. Like this is like you like this like the tariffs and the making of the money. Like, bro, this is a cornerstone. This show, like this gotta work. And it seemed like you putting the entire weight on a rather flimsy law. So I'm like, I don't see the play, homie. Like, don't you feel like if you're gonna put your whole second term legacy, don't you want to be standing on 10 feet of concrete, fam? Like this, I don't get it, bro. Like this a flimsy law for you to stand your whole thing on. Because look. Let me get into some nerdery with you. Remember his stance about an emergency was that we're under an invasion from foreign aides, and those aides are Venezuela. Like, nigga, like you are threading some strings right now. But according to the New York Times, which is actually, this is good reporting here, Section 232 of a 1962 law. What he said is that I'm imposing tariffs in response to a national security threats using Section 232 of the 1962 trade law. That legal provisions differs from IEEPA because it requires an investigation and a report that must be issued within 270 days. Now, this provision focuses on imports that threaten or to impair U.S. national security. The issue with that is, where that report? Why would you use that, sir? So he got these two things that he thinking, okay, since one of them is flimsy, I'm gonna try this other one. The problem is the other one flimsy too. I do not see the play. Now, we don't know as of today what the Supreme Court gonna decide. Now, granted, this may come out, the Supreme Court might decide something differently, but if he were to do this, using the laws that he's trying to use, then there's no point in Congress. Because, like I said, Congress supposed to control the money. And the conservative judges is kind of going, well, hold on now. Y'all remember, y'all don't sign my check, y'all don't marinate my chicken. Look, I decide what I decide. That don't make them purists. That just mean they think what they think. So there's a chance that they would be like, you actually can't do this tariff stuff. So he's, like I said, I may have lost my train of thought a second there, but he said, I'm using these laws to authorize sanctions in criminal courts and as a foundation for the fact that I can do these tariffs for around the world because we're in an emergency. What I've noticed so far about the Supreme Court is they're not willing to broach the question of what constitutes an emergency. Because once you broach that question, you're up for appeals, you're up for lawsuits, because should that be in the president's power to be able to declare what an emergency is and what it isn't? Is there some sort of check and balance around when you decide something is an emergency or not. Like, do you got to prove it? But like, prove it to who? Prove it to the courts, prove it to Congress, prove it to American people. They like, I don't know. I mean, it seemed like nerdery, but like, I just know we could already say Venezuela ain't attacking us. What emergency, sir? And even if it was, do that mean you get to tariff the earth? The court's gonna decide. And I gotta be honest with you, Trump. Like, I'll be honest with you, Donnie. I don't see the play, homie. Like, I just, you standing on something pretty flimsy. Let me tell you another thing I don't see the play on. You brokering peace in the Middle East. Next. All right, we're back. Sir, it's too many variables. I don't see the play, homie. I see the bet. I saw the bet, but I don't see the play. I don't understand. I feel like I have gained respect in Trump's ability to read a lick. An ability to be like, yeah, this is a lick. Let me just go hit this lick and get out of here. I also understand his hubris to believe that I've done it before, I'll do it again. I could finesse anybody. But I feel like the L's he keep taking in Russia and Ukraine should have taught him something about Bibi Netanyahu. You working with somebody you can't trust. And he has staked his entire reputation on fixing a conflict that is 1,000 years old. I don't see the play, homie. You can't keep saying I brokered a ceasefire when the fire has not ceased, but you're the one that said that. You owned it. You gonna blame Bibi? How you finna do that when you, like, again, these are supposed to be your legacy. You want that peace prize so bad. You all over the world right now, which also reminds me of the third part that I don't see the play on. But sir, like, why would you own this? You gotta, like, I just don't understand. It's too many variables. It's too many, like, it's too willy-nilly. You can't, listen, when you're about to commit a crime, let me not say it like that. Let me say it like this. When I know I'm about to travel, I'm about to go to a place that may or may not have good coffee, I eliminate variables by bringing the porigami. Copyright Mir TM. It's a setup. I have a hand grinder. I pack the beans myself. I bring some beans. I bring some coffee because, listen, I'm just eliminating variables. Now, it's great if we get there and it's got great coffee and we good. I don't know, some of y'all may have seen some of them little travel packs that they selling now where you can put little whiskeys inside of your little things. They look like your toiletries. You just eliminating variables. I'm a touring artist. Sometimes you don't get out the venue till 2 a.m, and I am not going to no after hours in Toadsuck, Arkansas, no less. One, because there isn't any after hours in Toadsuck, Arkansas. But two, it's Toadsuck, Arkansas. This is a shout out to Toadsuck, Arkansas, because I have performed there. And y'all always crack up. Y'all crack me up when you see that I bring it up. Anyway, sometimes you in, an hour outside of Grand Rapids and maybe there's an Irish pub, but I am not walking into that Irish pub. These Dutch Reformed Calvinists, I'm leaving them alone. You have to eliminate variables. Okay? And when you gonna claim something as your thing, you gotta know You gotta read the room. You gotta know the exit. Sometimes it's too many variables. So you fall back. I'm gonna let y'all, I mean, if it work, but I'm gonna go and let y'all, like, y'all, we gonna see. I don't understand why he wasn't like, look, dog. And I do understand why in this sense, because he just don't have it in him. But to just be like, yo, BB a wild card. I can't, like, what, let me tell you why. Because he's saying that about Putin. It clicked with Putin to be like, look, man, we be having great meetings. It'd be dope. I walk away. He do whatever he want. He's figured out how to be like, look, man, I thought I could do it, but that man crazy. I don't know why. I don't see the play, homie. Why did you not approach Israel the same way? My one thought is, maybe this is the play. It's because he still wants to own Gaza. Like, I'm still just trying to build Gaza. I worked the deal. You feel me? Like, I'm trying to get Trump Mediterranean. You understand what I'm saying? Trump Towers Mediterranean. You feel me? I don't know. The point is, maybe that's the play, but I just don't see the owning of the. Jared Kushner, back during COVID, made it very clear to Trump. He said, hey, listen, don't own the pandemic, own the solution. That's not your fault that this happened, but I'm going to own this Operation Warp Speed. The problem was his followers became all anti-vax. So now you can't own the solution. That was a weird play, bro. Anyway, the last one I don't understand is these SNAP benefits. Okay, out of your own mouth, you see that it's not working. You, as in Donald Trump, sees that it's not working, blaming the Democrats because nigga, duh. Y'all control every lever of government. The Republicans control every lever of government. So how could it possibly be the Democrats' fault? They ain't got no power. The only power they got are the one thing that they holding out on. Now, it would be different if the Democrats was holding out on something petty, something trivial, or something like Marxist, something like hella extreme, where it's like, you know what? I think we are not signing this until every CEO divests from supporting Israeli companies. That would be different. Then you could be like, I'm putting words. I'm giving you a crazy experience. Like, that would be dope. But I'm giving you a crazy, like, if they was like, yeah, the Democrats went full anti-Zionist and was like, we are not signing. We are holding up this until you agree to denounce Bibi Netanyahu and Zionism. Then he could be like, them niggas is tripping. I could see the play. Then you stand on 10 toes and be like, they're being ridiculous. And then you could look at the crowd and be like, y'all, them SNAP benefits is their fault. Like, I just don't understand why they won't sign the shit. You want me to denounce? You gonna hold up these people's food because I won't denounce a president that ain't gonna be president forever? What is you talking about? That's not what's happening. What the Democrats are standing their ground on is fairly reasonable. Matter of fact, it's bare minimum. All they say is, nigga, we don't trust you to circle back after the holidays for this one. Y'all not gonna circle back on this one. I need you to agree right now that you're gonna continue the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act for the services they already getting. Like, they already getting the services. I'm just saying, will you agree that you're not going to let their premiums triple? That's all I'm saying. They already broke. We just said, like, I don't know if you go. And I feel like people got sense. So he understands that you could say, I mean, I'm ready to go. The Democrats won't do this. Now, his attitude is, when you listen to what he's talking about, in the filibuster. Like, this is stupid. Like, what are we waiting for? Now, that's easy for him to say. If y'all remember the they bust, we bust filibuster with hoes, man, it's all wrapping around here. I hope y'all been sticking around with me. You feel me? Your boy been trying to teach y'all. Listen, you understand what a filibuster, you feel me, was good for the goose. You understand what I'm saying? What goes around comes around. They bust, we bust. You break this filibuster, my nigga, at some point, you're not going to be in power either. You going to want that filibuster. You feel me? Like, so when you do that, you got to remember it might beat you blue-black. You can't just be breaking them filibusters. Now, the Congress, they the ones that got to deal with it. President ain't got to deal with it. President, like, I don't know just what negotiations. President ain't interested in negotiating with nobody, nigga. He talking to the Republicans like, what is y'all doing? Grow a pair and break the filibuster. And Republican senators and Congress folk is like, it's not that simple, Mr. President. We can't just be breaking it. It's not that simple. He like, if that's the case, y'all look like herbs. So for him, it's, like I said, I don't see the play, but for him, it's very simple. He's like, well, the play is, the people clearly need their food. And they blaming you, subtext, that's because it's their fault, but they blaming you in the shit and be a hero. So for him, he's like, it makes perfect sense. Meanwhile, like I said, what is happening in the courts is the courts is saying, sir, I don't care nothing about your strategies. You need to feed these people. I don't understand what we're talking about. There are emergency funds. Feed the people. Now, I could see him slow walking it the way that he slow walked USAID, where it's like, we'll get to it until it don't happen. I could see that. But I don't see the play in when they said to do it, he sued them. I ain't feeding them people. No. Grocery stores. Do y'all know this? Grocery stores was like, look, dude, we'll just do 50% off, dog. Because we know you're not going to get your money. They only going to give you part of your money. Then you only get half your money, we'll only charge you half. You know the Trump administration sued to block that? My nigga said, let them people starve. Now, let me ask you this. What do you think the percentage of Trump voters are recipients of SNAP? Take a guess. I'll wait. Give up? Yeah, there's no data that shows it. There's no like clear data that says this percentage of SNAP benefits are Trump voters. But I'll tell you what we do know. Y'all ready for this? So it's 42 million SNAP benefits people. 1 in 5 Americans. It's a lot of people, right? Now, he said, oh, this is mainly going to hurt Democratic voters. All right, here we go. Nearly 60% of Americans enrolled in SNAP are either children under 18 or adults 60 or over. Like 1 in 5 non-elderly adults with SNAP benefits have a disability. Y'all ready for this? Less than 10% of people receiving SNAP benefits are able-bodied adults without children who are between ages of 19 and 49. 55% of all families with children that receive SNAP benefits include at least one employed adult. Now, of the 10 states with the highest percentage of people on SNAP, 5 are also in the top 10 for percentage of population in poverty: New Mexico, Louisiana, Oklahoma, West Virginia, and Nevada. Those are not Democratic states. Air quotes. West Virginia, cuz who you think you not letting what I'm trying to say is you're not letting your own people eat. Now watch this. A little over 35% of the people who get SNAP benefits are white. More than any other racial ethnic group. Around 26% are Black and 16% are Hispanic. Although more white people are enrolled in SNAP, census data shows that the greater percentage of Black people get these benefits. 24.4% of Black people and 17.2% of Hispanic people, compared to 9.7% of white people. That's because these groups are disproportionately poorer. See, this is why we say racism affects everything. All that to say this. That is apparently a very Black thing. I say all that to say this. Mind you, anyway, the largest share of Americans with SNAP benefits are white people. So you need to tell your boy Stephen Miller, my dog, I don't see the play. Taking food out of people's mouth, my G. Are you proving a point? Is this a leverage? Like, and to have all this happening, my nigga, was you at the White House with Victor Erdogan? Did you just send $42 million to Argentina for some steaks, my G? My nigga, you have been in every country but this one. Got home and threw a party at Mar-a-Lago. My dog, you threw a party? Y'all remember when we did the Black Ag, when I had homeboy that was talking about how the USDA was not giving loans and support to Black and indigenous farmers? Where you think them loans was going to? Them white farmers. Guess what's happening? That money gone. Them white people is like, my nigga, what is happening? Donnie, I don't see the play, homie. Like, is you doing this off a principality, my G? Is it the principalities of the situation? You still feel like this SNAP thing is a leverage? You think you hurting us? On some quit hitting yourself? Is you like, I don't get it, bro. Like you exterminating the roaches by burning the house down? Yeah, you done killed the roaches, you feel me? But you done burnt the house down. I'm just saying, Donnie, I don't see the play on this one. And even when the courts was like, even when your crew was like, my G, I don't understand. This is a bad look, homie. You throwing a Great Gatsby head ass party. Niggas can't eat. Like, I don't see the play. Maybe the play will reveal itself by the time this episode come out. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but I got to tell you, fam, you about to take 2 L's in the Supreme Court, and both of those L's are around your landmark. Like you built the team. You built the team on this. This the campaign song. This the lead single, my G. Let me give you a little hip hop history here. You know the song, the Pharoah Monch song that has the Godzilla sample. Burn, 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 burn. Burn, 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 burn. Get the fuck up. Simon Says, throw your hands in. Boom, 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 boom. So that song this is about to be a swirling circle. First of all, Pharoah Monch is probably my favorite rapper ever. Anyway, that song came out on Internal Affairs, a record that was a part of Ruckus Records. Ruckus Records gave us Mos Def and Kweli, all the Soundbound albums, right? Ruckus was an amazing label. Get this, was founded by Rupert Murdoch's son. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, that sample from the movie Godzilla, it bankrupted the label. They couldn't afford the sample. The song was too dope. So, looking back, do you try to replay the sample? Or do you say to yourself, this is hip hop. It was worth it. This is one of the greatest rap songs of all time. All I'm saying is you bet the house on a sample you couldn't clear. It was a dope sample, but it folded label. I don't know, man. Trump, is this your Simon Says? Is this it? You bet the house on a sample you can't clear. You could be like, yeah, but it was really dope, making people not be able to eat. I really like these tariffs. It was worth it. I don't know, man. I'm just not sure I see the play. Hood politics, y'all. All right, now don't you hit stop on this pod. You better listen to these credits. I need you to finish this thing so I can get the download numbers, okay? So don't stop it yet. But listen, this was recorded in East Los Boyle Heights by your boy Propaganda. Tap in with me at prophiphop.com. If you're into cold brew coffee, we got Terraform Cold Brew. You can go there.com and use promo code HOOD, get 20% off, get yourself some coffee. This was mixed, edited, and mastered by your boy Matt Osowski, killing the beat softly. Check out his website, mattosowski.com. I'm going to spell it for you because I know. mattosowski.com, mattosowski.com. He got more music and stuff like that on there, so go and check out the heat. Hood Politics is a member of Cool Zone Media, executive produced by Sophie Lichterman, part of the iHeartMedia Podcast Network. Your theme music and scoring is also by the one and only Matt Osowski, still killing the beat softly. So listen, don't let nobody lie to you. If you understand urban living, you understand politics. These people is not smarter than you. We'll see y'all next week.